And that operating system, it's an interface between the user and the hardware. Hardware understands only the binary code. Binary code is 1 and 0. And users can understand mostly the English, human readable language. So operating system which converts the human readable language into the binary code, binary to the human readable language, so that we have the better communication between them. The main purpose of your operating system is to be function as a sort of foundation layer which is going to be creating so that the other softwares to get to work with it. For example, suppose now if you are purchased the laptop, if you say that I don't want any operating system in my laptop, I just want only the laptop. What you will do with that one? Without operating system, you can't install any other softwares. You can't install the Java, you can't install the Oracle, you can't install MySQL, you can't install the MS Office. You can't work any of the softwares. That is why the operating system is mandatory. It's operating system which is creating a foundation layer so that other softwares to get work with it. So over the many years earlier, we are having the operating systems like your Windows and the Unix operating systems. Windows operating system, we know that one, it's a graphical user interface where we can easily navigating that using this. Even the small kids also can able to be operate your Windows operating system, correct? Windows 7 or Windows 10, Windows XP, anything. It is a graphical user interface. But whereas Unix operating system is completely CLI. CLI means command line interface. If you want to work with the Unix operating system, everything should be using the commands only you can do. So the person who properly get trained and is working on this Unix operating system, only that fellow will can able to be work with the Unix operating system. Even though you are having an experience in working with the Windows servers, Windows operating system, if you are having the 10 years of experience also, which is not possible to be work with the Unix operating system. Okay, that is that much of difficult earlier we have. Very few resources who are having expertise in both Windows and Unix operating system. Very few resources earlier. They can comfortably work with the Windows servers, comfortably work with the Unix servers as well earlier. So later, Linux accounts for the huge share of your server operating systems. So the standalone operating systems, we are having a client operating system, client systems. Client systems in the sense node, client node machines, which can be giving you the services to individual users. Suppose now I have installed the MS Office package in my system. In my laptop, I have installed the MS Office package. So MS Office package can be used by my cell phone. It is not shareable with the other users. Standalone applications can be run. That is why you can see client operating systems like your Windows 10, Windows XP, Windows 11, Ubuntu desktop. So these kind of an operating systems which are used for the standalone applications to be getting run. Coming back to the server operating systems, where it can be providing you the services to the multiple users. Now you people are accessing the Facebook. Your people are accessing the LinkedIn. Your people are accessing the Instagram. Your people are accessing the Google. All these are applications. These applications are running on the servers. Okay, if I am installing, suppose the Facebook application, when you are hitting that URL, it is getting connected to the Facebook server. From that Facebook server, it is providing you the services. That is multiple users, thousands and lakhs of users are accessing your application. So that application can be accessible if you are installing and configure that application in the servers. Suppose this is my Facebook server. Let us think about it. I have installed the Facebook application server configurations everything. And you people have been hitting the URL with your facebook.com from your individual laptops. When you are hitting that one, it is getting connected to this server, and then with the help of your username and password authorization have been passed, then it will be giving you the relevant content into your console. Correct or not? So server is somewhere, it is going to be installing in the data centers. It's not somewhere in your within the organization. Of course, if it is a big organization or the corporate or MNCs organizations are there, where they can able to use their database servers internally. But your application server mostly we are using in the data centers by either your cloud service providers like your AWS, Azure, and the GCP. Clear? So here server operating systems like your Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu, BSD, OpenBSD, FreeBSD, Unix, Windows 2016, Windows 2012, Windows 2008 by R2. These are all your server operating systems, guys. These are all your server operating systems. Why many people are using the Linux operating systems to be deploy your applications here is the Linux, because it is more secure, more stable, and giving you the consistent performance here. They'll be giving you the consistent performance in this one. Clear, guys? So why many people are using? Because even the clients also wants to developing their clients also wants their applications to be deployed in Linux service. Why they want that is because in the Linux server we are having more secure. No hacking will be done on this service, Linux service, because it is having a more layers, security layers are there in the Linux operating system. Stable, consistent performance. Even though multiple applications are running in the Linux server, still it is giving you the consistent performance. So because of all these advantages what we have, many clients also wants to run their applications running on the Linux servers. So the types of operating systems we have: single user, single task, MS-DOS operating system. That means here if you can see, this is your MS-DOS operating system. Single user logged in and he can do one task at a time. Single user, single task. Clear? Next one, single user multitask. Windows 98 Windows operating systems are. That means as a single user, you have logged in into your laptop, right? As a single user, you have logged in into your laptop, right? Next one, but he can do multiple tasks. He can listen the music, he can browse the internet, and at the same time, he can able to be open the PowerPoint slides, he can prepare the slides, he can preparing the Word document. Like this one, multiple tasks he can able to be performed with the single user multitask operating system. Multi-user, multitask. Multiple users can be logged in into the same operating system and they can do multiple tasks. In a real time, what happens here, guys? In a real time, you people are not going to be the Linux operating system is not going to be installing in every laptop. Linux operating system, prati laptop lo install cheyaru. So they are going to be installing that Linux operating system. That means this is your Linux server, and we are all working on the project in the same organization, right? So what I'll do is I'm going to be creating the users of yours, and you people are going to be getting connected to this Linux server through the internet, through the networking. You people are getting connected to this Linux server and to start working. That means each user, you people are working on individual tasks. These multiple users can be logged in into the same operating system and you can perform the multiple tasks at a time. Correct or not? So that is called Unix and the Linux operating system. Now see here, in the Unix history, in 1969, 1970s earliest, so here they are working on the Unix operating system. They want to make their operating system is more user friendly, so that other users also comfortably they want to use their operating system easily. So for that purpose, what they did is they make that open source code. They created the two foundations like your FSF and the JNU. FSF is nothing but Free Software Foundation. That means they can able to be any organizations. They can have the freedom to be copy, distribute, study, and change and improve the software. They can download that software. If they have the research and development team is there, they can able to be enhancing that operating system and they can release that operating system into the market with their company name. Now Cognizant is that Cognizant, if they want to get into the operating system market, what they can do, they can download this open source code and with their research and development, they enhancing that software Linux, they are enhancing the Unix operating system and they can release it into the market with their company name, Cogni Linux, Infosys, Infi Linux. Okay, so like that one, any company they want to make that operating system they can be used. Like that, in 1984, HP have been released the HPUX, right? HP have been released HPUX. In 84, Apple have been released Mac operating system, and the IBM have been released in 86. IBM released the AX operating system, and in 1991, Sun Microsystems have been released Sun Solaris. So these operating systems are not much popular like what we have Red Hat and Ubuntu Linux. Why? Because HPUX can be installed only on the HP laptops, HP hardware. Mac operating system can be installed only on the Apple hardware. Do you think that everyone will be having the Apple hardware only? Not possible, correct? We'll be having the other third-party vendor software laptops we are using, like Lenovo we are using, HP are using, and Dell we are using, right? And Acer, like many other hardware vendors. So these operating systems are not much popular like what we have in the Red Hat and Ubuntu. So later, in 1991, if you can see, the clone of your Unix operating system is Minix. They make that the similar to the Unix operating system, they have been cloned that, they have given that name is Minix. And Linux operating system, which is an alternative to your Minix. Minix operating system is alternative to Linux operating system. In 1991, Helsinki University, from the Helsinki University, the founder of your Linux operating system is Linus Torvalds. He is the person who developed this Linux operating system. And here, later he made that operating system is open source, and the companies came forward and they developed their own operating system and they released with their company name. Red Hat is a company name, Red Hat Linux. Ubuntu is a company name, Ubuntu Linux. Novel is a company who has been released the SUSE operating system. OEL, Fedora, Debian, Mint, Kapil, Kali, Boss, Power Linux, Ubuntu, these are all your company names. They have been developed the Unix operating system. Clear guys? These are all your Linux distributions. Out of all these Linux distributions, we are majorly in the real time, we are using the Ubuntu and the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Clear guys? Ubuntu and the Red Hat Linux operating system we are using. The next one, the Linux operating system is an open source system and it was initially designed to similar to the Unix operating system, but later this becomes your supercomputers. That means the operating system which have been using in the supercomputers as well. So Linux is widely adopted by many organizations across the world. Because now the Linux operating system have been using across the world in many projects we are using. In the real time, we are working on the Linux services. So why I'm explaining the Linux operating system means in the real time, your people are going to be working on this Linux servers. If you are familiar and habituated of using how we have to use the Linux operating system, when you join in any job, it will be easy for you. Clear? The next one is Linux is a free and open source operating system. Why it is more popular? Because it is free and open source operating system. The next one, it is more secure, more flexible, and supports almost all programming languages, and it is having the huge community to support any issues which you people have been reporting. While you are using the Linux operating system, if suppose now while you are using the Linux operating system, if you people are facing any kind of a difficulty, if you are getting any kind of an issue while using that operating system, you can report that issue to this community. This community people will be reporting you. Sorry, not reporting you, giving you the solutions to you. Simple example I was told you, right? If you remember, suppose now if you are having the services, post-sale services, then that company will be having a much good reputation in the market. Suppose now Volkswagen is there. Though the product is good, the car is good, car manufacturing, everything is good. But thing is, why it is not much popular in the market? Because its services are not good after sales. Maruti having a good reputation. Though the product is moderate, but its services are good. Suppose now while you are going in the car with your family, somewhere outskirts of your outskirts of the city, if it is breakdown, nearby 1 kilometer distance, you can find the services of Maruti car. Any technician can come and fix it up that issue. Correct? But the same thing which is not happening to the Volkswagen. Community support, services. So here we are having that large community support is there. Now next features of your Linux, portability. Portability means here the software can work on different types of hardware. The Linux operating system can be installed on your Apple hardware, can be installed on the HP hardware, can be installed on the Lenovo, Dell, or any kind of an hardware it can be work. Portability. Multi-user, multitask. Just now I was told you. Open source Linux source code is freely available and you can download that from the official website. Multi-programming means multiple applications you can run at the same time. Suppose in a Linux server is there is a Citibank application which is running. At the same time, you can install any other another application, insurance, Max Life insurance application you can install in it. And same time, when you run this both the applications, it is giving you the consistent performance. Both the applications can be work. Citibank application also runs, as well as insurance application, Max Life insurance application also it runs. So this is an advantage what we have with this Linux operating system. Okay. Now we have the shell layer. What is meant by shell layer here? Linux is providing a special interpreter. This is the layer, this is the console, shell console, where we are going to be working with the Linux commands. We are going to be executing our Linux commands over there. Clear guys? So shell gathers the input from the user and executes the programs. That means we are going to be installing that. That means we are executing the Linux commands there, and it is going to be taking the input from us and display the output immediately. So when a program finishes executing, it displays the program's output. So security, Linux provides user security, user authentication. Security layer is there. Suppose now we are all working on the same Linux server. I have created the files. Now you people try to access my files, you can't access. Security is there. User authentication, you can't access unless and until if I am giving an access to you, read access, then only you people can able to read that file. Otherwise you can't. Vice versa, if you are created the files of your own, if I try to access your files, I can't access. Unless and until you people have given me the access permission, just like your Google Drive. And take the Google Drive, when you've given an access, then only I can access your Google Drive. Otherwise, I can't access. Clear? Why we use the Linux open source? Most of the softwares are freely available. Free annar kabatti idi chala popular ayindi. Intana free andagane popular ayindi. And where we can use the Linux? Linux is mostly used in the portable devices, home automation, artificial intelligence, and the machine learning, penetration testing, developing any new softwares and the tools we are using based on this Linux servers. So coming back to this one here, architecture of your Linux architecture. So Linux operating system, we have, see guys, hardware. This is first layer, hardware and operating system. Above this layer we are having the kernel. Above this layer we are having the shell, and above this layer we are having the user applications which we are installing. Now if you can see, this is the layer where we are going to be executing your Linux commands. When you are executing the Linux commands here, it is getting into the shell layer. This shell is an interpreter, what I said, it is converting human readable language into the binary to the human readable language. So what happened when it is getting connected? This is a human readable language, we can understand that. But this can't be understood by the machine. So what it will do, the shell is converting that one into the binary code, and this kernel, which is like an heart for a human being. Without heart, humans can't survive. Similarly, without kernel, there is no operating system is there. Even if it is Linux or Unix or Windows, any operating system, kernel will be there. Now, if you can observe, kernel will be taking care of your RAM, system resources, schedulers, controlling the security. All these things can be loaded on when you implement this system. So when it is getting converted into the binary code, kernel will be taking this one and giving as an input your hardware. An operating system which is converting that the command into the process that input and giving back the result. Again, the result also it is going to be giving in the binary code. So when it is getting into the shell layer, it is converting that binary code into the human readable language. Okay, so when it is shell will be converting that one into the human readable language and display on the console. So these are all the things which is happening with the micro fraction of seconds. When you are getting the make directory command and hit enter, this will be get processed in the backend in the micro fraction of seconds. Clear is? So here we'll be getting this one. RAM resources. If you can see this one here, kernel will be taking this one. Kernel is the foundation layer of your operating system. It functions at the basic level, communicating with your hardware and managing the resources such as your RAM and the CPU. Since a kernel handles many fundamental processes, it must be loaded at the beginning of the boot sequence when a computer starts. This is what the kernel will do. When your system has been get booted up, your RAM, the schedulers, all these things can be run at boot up. So this will be handled and controlled by this kernel disk. So here layers will be hardware, kernel, and the user process. And what is Linux and why we should use in this one is Linux is most commonly used server-based operating system. Clear guys? Also common in the embedded systems, Google Chrome, Google Earth are examples where majorly depending on the Linux operating systems. Now Google servers, Google search engines which are running on the Linux, is morely depending on the Linux operating system. Whether you want to build a server-side applications or deal with embedded systems, Linux will make your life as a developer and makes it easier. Any kind of an embedded systems, artificial intelligence, any kind of new tools if you want to generate a build server-side application if you want to build, the Linux operating system is the upgrade. When operating a Linux operating system, you need to use a shell, an interface which gives you access to the operating system services, and most Linux distributions use a graphical user interface as the shell, mainly to provide easy use of their users. Earlier, completely CLI, but now at least now we are having the graphical user interface, which is helping us to be the user can able to be work with an ease. Now here if you can see the advantages of your Linux operating system is more secure, easy to be used, more customization options we can able to be used this one. Next one, less maintenance, portability, flexibility, and high performance. These are all the advantages what we have with this using of Linux operating system. Clear guys, those who are new. Telugu, India, Indonesia. Telugu, what about you? Hindi. You? Hindi English, okay. Telugu English. Multi-language network. Okay, no problem. I know the 3 languages. You are from North India.